What's up, guys? Welcome to Life Knowledge. My name is Justin Alphabet. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. Today we're going to be talking about good versus evil and how you can use evil for good and good for evil. Go ahead and stay to the end of the video so you guys can understand the whole concept. Okay, so you guys want to know how evil can be good and good can be evil. I'm going to use Star Wars to help you guys understand this analogy, so pay close attention and watch to the end. We have in Star Wars many different characters, but the ultimate premise and plan of this Star Wars galaxy is that there's a good side and there's a bad side, right? There's good and there's evil. And I want to tell you guys why this isn't necessarily realistic. It's not necessarily like real life. And the reason why is because most people, like you and I, are not fully good or fully bad. And we can see that in Luke Skywalker. We can see that in Darth Vader. We can see that in Yoda. We can see that in Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine. And in each of these characters and each of these figures, you know, like each of them is flawed and has many different sides to them, but ultimately they have a light side and a dark side, right? We have the force, the light side of the force, and we also have the dark side of the force, which can be represented here by the yin-yang symbol. If you look at the yin-yang symbol, you can see that there's both a light side and a dark side, which represent, you know, the day and the night, the sun and the moon. And inside of those different pieces, there's both a black circle and a white circle, which means essentially that there is bad in too much good and that there is good in some bad, or good in evil and evil in good. And the way that you can think about this through Star Wars is through the clones, right? The good side, the Jedi, you know, who are the good side, they essentially started the force of the clones. The clones were essentially made as a weapon to help the Jedi conquer the dark side. And that ended up turning on them. So like, as you can see with the little black dot inside of the white, too much good became evil, right? They were the ones that ended up killing themselves by trying to be so good and preparing so much and fighting so hard against the evil that they made the evil stronger, and then they ended up killing themselves, which is possible. We see that in real life through the Crusades and Christianity, or, you know, people that say they're doing a good thing like Hitler, but it's actually has very negative side effects. So for example, like, in the Crusades, they were saying, like, we're going to go, you know, take back these lands in the name of God. We're going to do this with a godly purpose, right? But in the end, they killed a bunch of people, right? They murdered people and did things in the name of God that were not godly or whatever in Christianity, right? So sometimes people can take things too far by trying to do the right thing. So you have to be cautious of that, you know, too much good can be bad. And then we look at the other side of the yin-yang symbol on the black side, right? We think about people like Darth Vader, who ultimately chose to be good in the end. He used his power in the end for good. He's that little white dot right there, where you can use power, you can use ambition, you can use strength for good purposes, for godly purposes, or positive purposes, right? And so it shows that there's not an entirety of evil in the dark. And a lot of people don't explore this side of themselves very often. It's difficult for people to believe and face themselves and believe that there's darkness inside of them. But what's crazy about that is that, you know, just like how there's a day and a night, you can't just deny that there's a night even if your eyes are closed. Right? If you're sleeping at night, it's still night, right? Even if you're not aware of it, even if you're avoiding that fact, you still need night to sleep. There's a purpose for it. There's a reason behind it. And many people don't discover this or or try to explore this part of themselves. And this part of themselves, a lot of people call the shadow self, or the dark side, or darkness, or evil, or bad, or whatever. But a lot of what it truly is are simple, basic things like strength, ambition, power, things like that. And those things can be used for good, right? But most people are too afraid to explore them because they've seen other people that take it too far. They've seen people, go to the depths of the blackness where they are only dark, right? But controlled power, controlled ambition, controlled strength, controlled, things of that nature are very useful. They can be very helpful, and they can help, change worlds, change the state of the economy, state of the world. If we look at people like Alexander the Great, he was very in touch with his dark side. He wasn't afraid to kill men. He wasn't afraid to face his fears. He wasn't afraid to do things that most people aren't willing to do. He was a controlled monster, right? And most men are capable of this. Most men are able to do this, but it's becoming less and less frequent these days. And there are ways that you can control it. There are ways you can focus that power and that strength and that darkness. And a lot of people don't know how, and I can teach you guys how in this video, and we'll get to that in a second. But I want to make you guys aware that Darth Vader had good intentions when he first started out. Anakin wanted to save his family from, certain death when, he saw that Padme was going to die in a vision or something like that. So he took the avenue that sought after strength, sought after power, sought after ambition, because he felt that would help to save Padme. But he got lost in that because he let it control him. He let himself fall entirely into the dark side. He lost control of himself in the dark side. And that is possible. But you can also lose control of yourself in the light side, which is kind of crazy. On the opposite side, if you worship God too much, if you kill people in the name of God, you're a terrorist, right? You're becoming the opposite of the evil in the good. So you have to have a balance. That's what this whole video is about, is having a balance between good and evil. You have to be able to have some ambition, have some power, have some strength, and have some peace, have some love, have some, universe juice and God in your life. You have to have both. And that's why the yin-yang symbol is so important, is because it's a balance. It's neutral. It's urging people to explore both sides of themselves, become comfortable with both the good and the bad. Because you are capable of bad things, and you are capable of good things. And so, making sure that you have control over both sides is very important. There's a saying where this young boy asks his father about the two wolves that are fighting inside of him, and he says, Father, I feel like there's two wolves inside me fighting. A good wolf and a bad wolf, a light wolf and a dark wolf, a white wolf and a black wolf, as they, use colors to describe it. Just how the yin-yang symbol does, light and dark, day and night, yes and no, sunshine and rain, etc., like opposites. And he asks the father, which wolf wins? Which of these two wolves, this black wolf or this white wolf, is going to win? And the father, in this sense, says, the one that you feed. But I want to tell you guys that that's wrong. That's wrong. Because I discovered this for myself, right? I used to live by the quote, only feeding the white wolf. Only feeding the wolf that was white. The day wolf, the good wolf, or whatever, right? I would only feed the good wolf. And the black wolf would feel neglected and then come over and take the food from the white wolf by force, which caused me to fear the black wolf. and the black wolf got angry. The black wolf was angry and was like, why aren't you taking care of me? Why are you neglecting me? Why don't you take the time to feed me? You have both wolves. You're in charge of both of us, but you're only feeding the good wolf. And so I came to fear that black wolf. But I realized that it's my responsibility to feed that black wolf of power, of ambition, of strength, of anger, of fear, regret, and face that wolf head on. Instead of neglecting that, I chose and figured out healthy ways to feed that wolf, to listen to that wolf, to allow those emotions of that wolf to be expressed in healthy ways, in controlled ways, in safe ways. Most people neglect this wolf because they're afraid of what will happen if they feed that wolf. Will that wolf become stronger than the white wolf? Will that wolf try to kill the white wolf, And that's possible, but not probable. The people that overfeed the black wolf typically grew up in a way that they had only the black wolf to survive. Like, let's say there's a person like a lot of murderers, right? They were grown up in environments of horrible environments. Like, their parents beat them, they were raped and abused and neglected or put down by society, or bad things happened to them, so they had to feed the black wolf to survive. They had to have strength. They were forced to have power. They were forced to have ambition in certain ways where it eventually was the only wolf that they were feeding. They weren't feeding any of their white wolf. But the thing is that most normal people already are feeding their white wolf too much, and then their white wolf becomes too strong. And the white wolf, like I was saying with the Crusades, like, if you worship God in a way that you'll kill for God, then that means that you're not a good person. If you're killing people, you're taking life in the name of a creator who deems that you should, that life is sacred above all things, right? So essentially, like, you have to create a balance between the two wolves. You have to feed the black wolf and you have to feed the white wolf. If you don't feed both wolves, they'll be in a constant battle of hunger and fighting and, unbalance. There's a neutral point in the center that we're all trying to reach. And a lot of people think that by, focusing only on the good wolf, that they'll, reach that point, that center point of happiness and pure happiness. But I'm here to tell you that happiness doesn't last. You have to have both good and bad in your life to have a happy, full, and complete life, to have a perfect life, to have a balanced and healthy life. If things go good all the time for you, life will not be actually truly good. We see that a lot with rich people, where they have everything they want and they're unhappy. And then we see a lot of people that have bad lives, right? They don't have a lot of goodness in their life and they want more goodness in their life. Everyone is trying to reach that center point of both good and bad in their life. You need both sunshine and rain for plants to grow, for things to grow. And you need both day and night for things to grow. You need, as humans, we need the night so that we can rest and sleep and recharge. And we need the day to do things, to see, to, be active and things like that and get things done. But one thing I want to point out is when the creator, like, let's say in Christianity, like when the creator of the world, God, created the earth in the Bible, they talk about how darkness came first and then came light. Light came out of darkness. Darkness was first. And so outside in space is dark, and so darkness is very much a part of everyone and who we are. We have an animalistic brain inside of us that came first. It was the first part of the brain that was formed. Our animalistic brain, our fight or flight, is what it's often called. And this baser part of our brain is our survival, like our survival brain, our primitive brain. And it keeps our heartbeat going when we're not thinking about it. It does a lot of things for us that are unconscious or subconscious, below the surface. And so in that sense, a lot of this darkness is overlooked. But do you realize that how important it is that your brain is keeping your heart beating at this very moment? That is so important, and people don't even think about that fact. That, baser part, that dark part of us that's unconscious, is keeping you alive right now. The night where we have to sleep, we don't think about the fact that without darkness, we wouldn't be able to sleep as easily and as well. We have a circadian rhythm where all of us, usually typically stay awake during the day, and we know it's nighttime when it's night, and it allows us time to rest and shuts everything off, and everyone is shut down basically, right? To recharge. And that's the same with all things. There's a balance between the two that are both necessary. Typically, like it's unhealthy if you are staying up all night and staying only in the dark. You need the sunshine, you need the vitamin D, you need whatever, right? And oftentimes during the day. Sleep during the day isn't as peaceful typically as sleep during the night. You can train yourself to, get to those points, but it's typically not that way. So anyways, back to Star Wars. The thing is that Darth Vader allowed himself to become only darkness, and just like a murderer would, right? Murderers and the hurt and the pain and the fear and all of those things envelop a person when they become, one with the dark side, when they're only dark. We see with Yoda, like he is good, right? And his master Sifo-Dyas, was a Jedi master, and he's the one that started the clones, which were supposed to be a good thing and protect them, which ended up killing all of them, killing all the Jedi, right? So if we think about it, right, like we want to be more like Luke, who both understands the dark side and understands the light side. He has both, right? He's capable of both dark things and killing, and he's also capable of good things, healing, right? And doing the opposite. And that's why it's so important for us to become like him, and that's why he's the main character of all of it, is because it shows Luke's journey in Star Wars of both understanding the dark side of things and understanding that there's good in his father, and also that there's bad in the Jedi. That there's good in the Jedi and bad in the Jedi, and there's also good in the bad and bad in the good. Once you understand that, once you understand the yin-yang symbol of both good in the bad and bad in the good, you'll become balanced, because you'll be able to understand yourself. You'll be able to understand why you do bad things, why you do good things, and why some good things are too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and sometimes bad things can be good things. And I'm at the gym right now. I'm about to go there and throw some weight around and be one with my dark side. That's what I do at the gym. And this is a tip for you guys, right? This is a secret tip. This is how you can integrate your dark side more into your life and use it in a healthy, controlled, balanced way. I'm going to go beat up some weights right now, punch a bag or whatever, and use all of the anger and the power and the strength and ambition that I have to grow myself, to lift myself up, and allow my energy to escape, my negative energy to escape my body in a healthy, productive way. That's possible. You can do it through hard work. You can do it through gym, through a sport, a martial art, creative outlets. There are so many ways to let out your dark side in positive and healthy ways. There are also many ways to do it in negative ways, which we're going to avoid. But you have to trust yourself. You have to get to a point where you can trust yourself. Right now, I'm at a point where I can trust myself that I can turn my anger on and off once I walk in the gym and leave the gym, right? Like, when I'm in the gym, I'm angry. I'm a totally different person than I am in real life. Like, I'm focused, I'm angry, and I typically think about all the people that have hurt me and betrayed me and done horrible stuff to me. I think about that in the gym. I think about the girls that cheated on me or broke my heart or whatever. I think about the people that, have stolen my money or put me down or talked to me horribly or treated me badly for years and things like that I let happen. right? Like I let all that happen because I wasn't in touch with my dark side. I didn't know how to place a boundary. I didn't know how to use my anger in appropriate ways. And I let myself get walked all over in the name of being good. I was a nice guy. Nice guys are typically only on the white side, right? Like they're only on the white side of the yin yang. And so, you know, people on the dark side are very good at setting boundaries. They're very good at saying no. Typically, people on the white side are very good at saying yes. You have to be able to say both no and yes. If you can say no to things, you are saying yes to other things, is what I've started to learn. So, for example, let's say some of my friends want to go out and party, right? I say, no, I'm not going to the bar. I'm going to hit the gym and push some bars, right? Which is me saying no to one thing so I can say yes to something better. Which is in normal people's lives, sometimes they can't say no. A good person or a nice guy would always say yes, yeah, I'll do whatever, let's go have fun, blah, blah, blah. But saying yes is not always the answer. Saying no is not always the answer. If someone says, let's go to the gym, let's let out our anger, let's do it in a positive way, some other person might say, nah, I'm going to play video games, I'm going to, not do it, right? So the point being here is that saying no all the time is not good. Saying yes all the time is not good. Finding a balance between yes and no is the goal. You have to find a centered balance. Use your negative energy towards constructive outlets. Use your positive energy also towards constructive outlets. You can do both. You can use both the black side and the white side and have a balance. And that's the totality of this video. It's going a little long, but I hope you guys watched to the end so you understood the entirety of it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment them below. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you have the day you deserve, and let's level up.